Well, Janusz, Michallik, a lot to talk about Brentford against Chelsea. First of all, the win takes Chelsea back to the top of the table, but it masks a much more interesting story and how Brentford somehow didn't score at the end. What about that performance from Edouard Mendy, the goalkeeper?
Yes, but see, it's different. Like when we're talking about Ole, right? Professional job, like Manchester City, like Liverpool. I give the benefit of the doubt to the big clubs that after international week and after missing key players, get it done. And that's why I'm trying to think how hard I want to step on Chelsea. There's some issues, and we'll get to that in a second. But look, I mean, if you look at the core, if you look at no Rudiger, no Thiago Silva, no Jorginho, no Mason Mount to start with, right? And you look at the back three of Malang Sarr, youngster, and Chalobah and Christensen, who's still, he's more experienced, but still very young, right? They held. Edouard Mendy was very, very good. But, when you watch this game, Chelsea were in control of the match for most of it until 55th minute. Maybe they didn't create anything, but Brentford did not look well in the first half. It looked like maybe Chelsea were going to score a second goal, though they didn't create much. So it's kind of, it's a difficult one. In the end, Chelsea are top of the table, and they got it done. They're going to get their players back, Mark. And you have to say, at the end of the day, let them find the rhythm once again.
Yeah, look, Janusz, I want to talk a little bit more about a comment that you've just made. I'm not sure how much we want to step on Chelsea here. You play 38 games in the top flight. It's about getting the job done. As you quite rightly say, the good teams find a way. You're not going to be playing well every week. And some days you're going to need Lukaku. He's not firing right now. Other days you're going to need other players. Some days you're going to need your goalkeeper at a tough place to go. So I understand if people want to have a go at Manchester United today because it didn't work for them. For Watford, it didn't work. I don't think Chelsea should be a target today because that could end up being 3 vital points that get them somewhere that they wouldn't have got had they not got the 3 points today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, I'm not being more forceful about this. But there are areas of concern, right? I mean, we've said all along that scoring is an issue, and Romelu Lukaku is going to have to solve it, right? Now, early, a good start for him, 3 goals. Now he has not scored in 6 games in all comps, right? 4 in the Premier League, scored in the Nations League for Belgium, but I suppose he's, domestically and on the club level, he's not getting it done. I mean, look, 3 goals. I think the defenders either scored or set up 15 out of the 19 goals for Chelsea. So certainly that's not what you want to do. Timo Werner looked lively, but again, we thought he scored in the last game, scored for Germany during the international week, looked busy once again, but not much to show for. Had a couple looks there. Kai Havertz came in, Mason Mount didn't play. So, I mean, there are areas of concern. They know how to keep it to 0-0 or a clean sheet, I suppose. And if they can do this consistently throughout the season, like last year when Thomas Tuchel came in, they got the job done in the Champions League. It's going to be difficult, so they're going to need some consistency there. So it's not all beautiful, but I think, you go week by week, and I think today is not the day that I'm going to hammer them, because for me, international week does that. It gives you that little bit of an excuse. We're talking about massive teams, right? But if you get the job done, you got the job done. Chelsea are top of the table. That's the bottom line. If this continues next week, the week after, where Edouard Mendy is going to have to be, the most important player for Chelsea, then we can perhaps look at Chelsea and maybe treat Thomas Tuchel, a little bit like you and I did early, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But that's different. Thomas Tuchel got it done with a very, very inexperienced back three.
Yeah, and it's a big thing for a manager when you most of the time know if you score 1, that'll be enough. And that goal was scored by Ben Chilwell. And I think there's a story here because Ben Chilwell could quite easily have gone in the huff, wasn't getting a game ahead of Marcus Alonso in the Premier League, and he could easily just have thrown his toys out the pram. You know what he did? He said, I'm going to work as hard as I can. I'm going to wait to see if I get my call. And when I do, I want to try and take it. What a week he's having for club and country.
Excellent point, because I was thinking the same when I was watching this, right? Because it was, like Marcus Alonso is an enigma to me. I can't make him out, right? I mean, he's played well. Frank Lampard came in, didn't want him in the team at all, right? went away. In comes Tom Tuchel, and he picks himself in the starting 11 every game, just about. And here's Ben Chilwell. But yes, you're quite right. And he's a better player. There's no two ways about it. Well, the two ways about it is that he actually plays both ways, right? And he's, he scores more goals. He scores beautiful goals. Last two in the Premier League, scored for England as well. I mean, was it against Southampton too? Similar. That left foot is so sweet. And again, we saw it once again. So it's a great point, Mark, because you've got to appreciate players like that. Not everyone can be this patient and don't get frustrated, which I'm sure he did, but you didn't see it, outward. You didn't see it in newspapers. You didn't see it anywhere. He just worked extremely hard, and he's reaping rewards right now. So fair play.
Something else you have to appreciate is the addition of Brentford to the top flight. The entertainers, they came so close to scoring. That little striker that they've got, Brian Mbeumo, how he hasn't scored. Again, that's him hitting the frame of the goal once more. But are they this season's Leeds United, the newly promoted side that have taken the top flight by storm?
They are, but they are a better version of Leeds United, right? Because defensively, you can't even compare it, right? Marcel Bielsa and Leeds United, I think we're seeing that second season now, but it's just in general, going forward, no problem. Defensively, many problems. This Brentford team is much more balanced. Very much like Leeds, they like to attack, right? They fear no one, which is similar. They high press you into difficult situations and into mistakes, which is important. But defensively, as we've seen, they are a solid team. So I think that, the Premier League is better for it. Of course, we have to wait. I think, the season just began, so you never know. Leeds were wonderful last season. This season, they're struggling a little bit. Same thing can happen to Brentford, but I think Brentford are better equipped on that balance that I chatted about. Yes, Bueno hit the post twice. I mean, Norgard, that bicycle kick in the end that hit Edouard Mendy. I mean, they had so many chances. I mean, 16-5 in shots. Going for Brentford, and that's, I think, most of it in the second half, because they didn't do anything in terms of intensity and quality in the first half. 7-1 in shots on target, so they came close. And look, I mean, Mendy was good. He was also very, very lucky, because a couple of these you didn't know anything about. But that's the name of the game right now. So Chelsea survived but that actually, it's a quality. At times, it's a bit of a skill, isn't it?
There's a lesson there for teams coming up to the Premier League. Doesn't happen for them all, but Sheffield United's first season up, then Leeds in their first season up, now Brentford in their first season up. Maybe Norwich should try and maybe do other things instead of being where they are in the table. This was Chelsea's day, but it was Edouard Mendy to the rescue.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.